Having one family member make the top level of rugby league in Australia is an achievement in itself, but some bloodlines are lucky enough to have 2 and even 3 players have storied careers in the NRL. With some luck, good genetics and hard work, these are the top 15 best second generation players in NRL history. In the 15th spot, it's Groth Jr. The well-respected Parramatta winger played 131 games for his beloved Eels and had a solid career. He's the son to Groth Sr, who featured throughout the 1980s and was recognised with Arthur Beetson as one of Australia's greatest ever Kangaroos. He was also named as one of the top 25 greatest New South Wales players ever, and in the top 100 greatest players by the NRL. Groth Jr.'s career may have not stacked up to his old man, but representing the Blues in Australia a handful of times is nothing to sneeze at. In the 14th spot, it's Will Hopewadi. After bursting onto the scene with the Manly Seagulls in 2010 and becoming the second youngest New South Wales player ever, Will's career had tamed out a bit, but undoubtedly has been solid. His calm and composed demeanour differs entirely to his father John Hopewadi, the eccentric winger. John had an excellent career himself, featuring for both New South Wales and Australia, but is mostly remembered for his controversial on and off-field actions. They both had accomplished careers and are one of the more talented footy families, with Albert and Jamil Hopewadi both making NRL appearances as well. In 13th spot, it's David Ferner. This one is a bit of a throwback, with David Ferner, a Clive Churchill medalist in 1994 and an Australian New South Wales representative. His career replicated his father's, the late Don Ferner, who was an Australian representative as well. They both were excellent coaches and represented the Canberra area to the highest esteem on and off the field. In the 12th spot, we've got Brett Finch. Brett Finch had a great career as an NRL halfback for 14 seasons, featuring effectively for 5 different sides. His greatest and most memorable moment would have to be the field goal that won Game 1 of the 2006 Origin Series. He also received the Dally M Halfback of the Year in 2006, which solidified his great career. His father, Rob Finch, was also a bit of a beast, winning 2 premierships with the St George Dragons in the 1970s. In the 11th spot, it's Ryan Hoffman. Ryan Hoffman was one of the more consistent forwards of the 2010s, with appearances for New South Wales and Australia. Probably one of the best back rowers in the game during his peak, his father Jay Hoffman wasn't as prolific, but was a great clubman, winning Clubman of the Year twice for Canberra and also representing Queensland in the pre-State of Origin era. In the 10th spot, it's Adam MacDougall. The Mad Dog, Adam MacDougall, a Newcastle legend, Origin and Australian representative, was a highly respected and loved Novocastrian. With 2 premierships to his name, Adam could be proud of his career, which spanned over 17 seasons. His late father, Gil MacDougall, was also an outside back that applied his trade for the Western Suburbs Magpies and Balmain Tigers. Playing for New South Wales in the pre-Origin era, Gil was a bit of a stud himself. It's fair to say this was one of the more talented NRL families, with both Ben MacDougall and Luke MacDougall having successful careers in the NRL. In the 9th spot, we have Luke Richardson. With 301 Sydney Roosters caps, Luke Richardson is the second most capped Eastern Suburb player ever and an absolute club legend. A premiership winner and representative for Ireland, Australia and New South Wales, Richardson had an accomplished career. His late father, Doug Richardson, was also a rugby league first grader and spent 5 seasons in the centres before a sudden knee injury ended his career prematurely. In the 8th spot, we've got Brett Mullens. Maybe a lesser known player for the younger audience, Brett Mullens was a Canberra Raider great who ventured out into representative football, featuring for Australia and New South Wales in both the ARL and the one-off season in the Super League. By the way, let me know if you want a vid on the Super League. Anyways, forget Stud Muffin, Stud Mullens was described as one of the more exciting attacking weapons in rugby league and would win the Dally M Fullback of the Year in 1994. His father Bill was also pretty handy, playing 190 games at Eastern Suburbs and winning 2 premierships in his career. Both he and his son were top notch. In the 7th spot, it's Mitchell Pearce. Arguably the most famous second generation player on this list, Mitchell had a lot to live up to when he debuted at 17 in 2007. It'd be fair to say that he's lived up to those expectations though, as a durable half has played over 300 NRL games, had 19 Blues appearances and won a premiership in 2013. His father Wayne Pearce was on another level though, as an absolute beast in the middle, winning 2 Dally M Locks of the Year, the Harry Sutherland Medal, a Medal of Honour for his service to rugby league, and being introduced into the Australian Rugby League Hall of Fame it's fair to say Wayne Pearce was an extraordinary player. The Pearce father-son combo are one of the more talented on this list. In 6th spot, we've got Matt Rogers. Both a Cronulla Shark and Gold Coast Titan veteran, the experienced half played in 200 NRL games, winning both the Dally M Rookie of the Year and Dally M Representative Player of the Year award. He was a capped Australian Kangaroo and Queensland Maroon before taking a 6-year hiatus, becoming a Wallaby in rugby union. His father, Steve Rogers, no, not that Steve Rogers, this Steve Rogers, was recognised as a Cronulla Immortal with 200 appearances for the Sharks, recognised as Dally M Captain, Lock and Player of the Year as well. Steve would pass away in 2006, with his career being honoured in the Australian Hall of Fame in 2008. A truly exceptional player. Before we get into our final 5, don't forget to press the subscribe button below, because 93% of you aren't subscribed. It really helps out this channel immensely, and it keeps you up to date with the weekly uploads here on the Alpha channel. In the 5th spot, it's Mark Gasnier. The One Club Dragons man had one of the great centre careers. With almost 100 career tries, a premiership and 2 Dally M Centre of the Year awards, Gasnier is one of the best centres in the NRL era. Although kind of breaking the rules with this not being his father, his uncle, Reg Gasnier, is one of the greatest players to ever grace this sport, so I felt he needed to be included. Reg would represent Australia a whopping 36 times and captain them on 8 occasions. Not only that, he was also named in the NRL's Greatest 100 Players, the Australian Sport Hall of Fame, and the Rugby League Hall of Fame. To top it all off, Gasnier was named as one of the initial 4 post-war Immortals, the game's highest accolade. In 4th spot, we've got Nathan Cleary. Cleary, arguably the best halfback in the game at the moment, is only 23 years old. His career achievements may surpass the players ahead of him on this list, but for the moment I've stuck him at number 4. He's without any accolades in his career as of now, but has represented New South Wales 10 times. Dad Ivan Cleary had a great goal-kicking boot and was a decent first grader over a 10-season period. His achievements have come mainly off the footy field, with the Dally M Coach of the Year award in 2014. In the 3rd spot, it's Craig Fitzgibbon. An outstanding forward, Fitzgibbon spent the majority of his career at the Sydney Roosters. During this time, he won the Clive Churchill Medal for his heroics in the 2002 Grand Final, with 8 appearances as well for the Blues and 15 appearances for Australia. He is probably one of the best goal-kicking forwards in the game, amassing 1,560 points over his 13-year career. His father, Alan Fitzgibbon, was a Balmain Tiger for 3 seasons from 1968 to 1970, winning a premiership before opting out of the city life to return to the Illawarra competition, winning 9 premierships there. In the 2nd spot, we've got Jarrod Hayne. Jarrod Hayne was an absolute star in his prime, representing both Australia and Fiji, New South Wales and the NRL All-Stars. He achieved numerous personal accolades, winning the Dally M twice and various other accolades shown here. On his day, he was the most electric and unstoppable player in the league, capable of making something out of nothing. His father, Manoa Thompson, was also a Fiji international and primarily played for South Sydney over the 1990s. His career spanned over 6 seasons and was incredibly solid. In 1st place, it's Josh and Brett Morris. Our final spot goes to the Morris twins, as I didn't want to split the two and felt the combined achievements of both players are more than enough to top this list. With 24 Australian caps and 30 New South Wales caps between the both of them, they've had outstanding NRL careers. Brett has had the wood over Josh in terms of premierships, whilst Josh has had the more individual accolades, winning 2 Dally M Centre of the Year awards. Their father, Slippery Steve Morris, was just as revered, winning the Dally M Player of the Year in 1979 and Dally M Winger of the Year twice in 1984 and 87. To cap it all off, Slippery Steve won the premiership in 1979 with his beloved St George Dragons, but also won the Clive Churchill Medal in the Grand Final. Well, there it is. Who do you think should have been included, and what videos do you want to see next? I feel whilst we often focus on second generation talents who haven't lived up to their expectations, this video showcases that there have been some immensely talented individuals. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the post notification bell, as videos are going to be out every week for the foreseeable future. And as always, thank you for watching.